Hi everyone, welcome to Value. So today we're looking at Virgin Galactic. It's been a while since I talked about the stock because nothing's really happened. We know that the stock's just hit delay after delay for the commercial launch, which currently is the commercial launch is scheduled around the middle of next year, which is still a while away. Potentially they could be flying in 7 to 8 months, which in the scheme of things, it's not too far away, but of course it's still 7-8 months is a long time for someone in the stock market, particularly most people that just want to get a good return straight off the bat. For anyone that's holding, I think it's, just keep your patience, wait some more. There's not really much you can really do. Like, you can look at it and go, should I sell out of my stock or should I continue holding? Like, you could sell out of the stock, but I don't think it really achieves that much. You have more to gain by holding the stock, though potentially, especially with the Fed raising interest rates, it puts a lot of pressure on the market, and we could still see the stock slide a bit more. So potentially we might even see $4 or even below $4 if the market's really, really bad. By that time, it's an extreme buying time, because I think at the current value, it's a really good value. But given the time you have to wait, there's no rush to buy, because nothing extraordinary is going to be happening in between now and probably the start of the year. So you've got between now and the start of the year to really just wait and watch and see how things go with the stock price, and try to find a really, really good timing to buy some if you are interested in the stock, or if you own the stock and you feel like you want to average down into pricing, then that's kind of gives you the timing. Though bear in mind, you might not see anything until 7 to 8 months in terms of any movement, any good movement in the stock price. So you gotta, if you do buy in, you gotta come in with the mindset that, hey, they're not flying to 7 to 8 months time, and potentially you still got to give them a bit more time on top of that, because that's only when they get start with the operation. Though at $1 billion valuation, given that they have $1 billion in cash as well, you're not really losing in terms of value that you're getting. Like, these guys have spent so long doing what they've done. They've built, their spaceships, and they've built their headquarters and everything. And basically, it's being valued at close to zero right now, because literally they're being valued at close to what their cash balance is, which is pretty insane. But at the same time, if you're buying into a business that's not generating money, then what kind of business is that, really, right? It's actually losing money, 100 million per quarter. So by the time from now to by the time they fly, they could lose another $300 million. So that's kind of the reality. So potentially, the whole stock market view is that they are just valuing this company at the cash value. So each quarter or every 3 months that passes by, the stock price might be falling just to compensate for that. So that's kind of a situation that where I see that, hey, if the stock market continues to get as much pressure as it is right now, we could see the stock price come a bit lower. But saying that, I think the current pricing is not too bad, especially considering what the company's actually done. Even though we've gotten all these really, really disappointing delays, it's still a company that's come a long way. They've done so much, and there's so much value that they've built in into this company. No one actually can come in and start competing against them in any hurry at all. Like, very, very, very few companies will be doing that. Like, SpaceX and Blue Origin are probably the only two that I see giving these guys any competition. There's not really been that much competition. And you can have companies that start up, they do a lot of testing, but it takes years and years and years, even a whole decade or two, to really get things going, which is phenomenal. when you actually think about that and what these guys have actually achieved to this time. But of course, people always want to look ahead and go, when's the next milestone? And if you're not getting that milestone, are you actually achieving anything? And that's where the problem is with stock investing. If they're not flying and they constantly delay, they're damaging the confidence of shareholders in this company, and hence why we have such a low stock price. But the minute they can start hitting all their milestones and they get to that commercial launch, all the confidence comes back. And then that's when you really, really start to see the stock price come back to life. And that's the thing, like at the current time, given that the whole company value on the stock market is worth what they're worth in cash, you'd probably arguably say it's probably quite a safe benchmark in terms of a buying opportunity. But of course, you judge it how you want to judge it. Of course, you got to look at how your time frame is. If you buy into a stock, no point going like 3-4 months time down the track and going, why is nothing happening? Because nothing's going to happen. Not until 7 to 8 months time. And the worst thing of all is, hey, if they have another 3-month delay, and they say we're going to launch in Q3 2023, then you're probably going to be, not very happy as well. So I don't think you go into this type of stock if you don't have a whole year horizon for the stock. I think longer term, if they can do this commercial launch, it comes back very, very strongly. But, we don't know when that's going to happen. Though when it does happen, and if hopefully, everything works out in their favor, then the stock's going to do very well. So, like all things, this is a high risk, high reward kind of situation. But yeah, I guess we just have to see how things go. Not too much in the scheme of updates, because they've just been kind of doing their own thing. They've more or less outsourced their making of spaceships. They're trying to tailor their branding. They've changed a bit about their branding. If we go to their main website and we look at the whole color scheme and everything, they've got this nice purple going along, which they sort of did have. And then you can see all this new imagery that's coming in. So they're slowly building up to it. And in the minute they can get things going, that's when it does, that's where the wonders come in terms of the share price. For now, it's all patience, it's all patience. You just have to give it time, and eventually things do lift off, and we can all celebrate as, if you're a shareholder or not. I think there'll be a lot of news that comes in once they, get things going. We know they can fly. These guys have flown once before. The problem is they had to make so many changes so they could actually fly consistently, because flying once was, it's not enough. You can fly once, but if the time it takes between flying once and then flying that second time takes too long, it's not really a business. It's not one that can earn much anyway, because you're hiring so much staff that the more flights you're able to do, that's when it starts to cover your all your normal costs, because they're going to have the headquarters no matter what. If you have your headquarters and you say you have a few hundred staff, you've got them no matter what. So if you're able to do 20 flights, then it's going to be quite good, as opposed to if you're only able to do 5 flights. So regardless of that, your cost base is the same with the staff, with the headquarters. But if you can get more flights going, then that's going to be able to start covering the costs. If you can't do that, then you can't cover your costs and you can't make any profit, and then that's not a great business. So I think they're positioning their business in the right way, but it's just taken a lot of time. And I think the current CEO is doing a good job. He looks like a very traditional CEO. The ones that are very focused on margins as well. They've upped their pricing to $450,000, which, there are still people, there's probably a good amount that can afford it, that these guys don't have to worry about not having to demand. Though, yeah, I guess the situation isn't whether they have demand or not. It's a matter of, can these guys just get started with their business? And, I'll, see what comes up next, and then possibly do an update later on in the future. But yeah, there's not that much I can really say about the company, except, they're slowly getting along, getting there. Price might come under a bit more pressure, as you can see. Just throughout every month or so, we kind of see the stock just dip a little bit. So potentially, I think at the current pricing, it's not too bad. Though you'd want to, it does mean waiting quite a while before you be able to see any positives that start coming out. But if you're long term, if they do get things going, it's quite a good return, I'd say, in terms of valuation. I can't see the company just trading around that $1 billion mark forever. Like, the minute they do start their business, that's when the valuation tends to jump quite a bit. But of course, until that happens, the valuation's going to be suppressed, and the market's likely just going to continue to value them as if they, at their cash balance, basically, which is not great if you're a holder, watching that share price just come down so much. But I think you just have to look at the positives and be really patient. And in this kind of market, I think no one's really doing super well. Everything's being suppressed, and it's a tough market. So it's just basically, this whole year is about just being patient. That's all I really have to say. Until then, good luck investing, everyone. Post any questions or comments below. Until then, good luck.